So in the last segment we established that there's some dirt in this mixer and that this channel is faulty. Broken solder that can be viewed and fixed without actually removing the mixer from the front panel. But because it was a bit dirty, I'm just going to take all these knobs off so that the mixer can be removed from that front panel, and then I can get in there with some Servosol, some compressed air, etc, get it nice and clean. So I've got a food bag, freezer bag, to put all of these in. Fader knobs should come off pretty easily. Some of them I'm going to be able to pull off, but they're often pretty tight. I want to avoid having to use needle nose pliers because they can leave marks, and these look to be in pretty good condition, but I might not have any choice with some of them. So I was able to get most of them off with my fingers, but I'm going to have to remove the rest of them with pliers. Seal that up in case I knock it over later. Right, next thing is to turn this over and get the screws that connect the two parts of the plastic case. I'm looking in these holes with the torch because I forget whether they all actually have screws in them. That one there, so second from the top left, that doesn't have a screw in it. Using a component box to keep these together. I actually only managed to get two out. Yeah, some more of them have fallen out now. Two more fell on the carpet. So how many have we got there? 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Corresponding to 11 holes. So make another pass at opening these. You can just feel that one turning around in its hole. I can't really get those to turn anymore. This opens from the back. Hopefully when I do that, then a couple of these screws will just come out. No, they're pretty stuck there. So I got my problem sorted out with the screws there. One thing I forgot to take off was the little pitch wheel. You know, just in case that rolls down the drain, don't forget to take that off. I'd completely forgotten there was a screw in there that was tight, so I took that out, and then it kind of opened, but it got stuck in that corner. At some point this has taken a knot, so the plastic post on this half of the case to which that screw is attached snapped at the base, but the screw is still very firmly screwed into it. And then this circuit board I'm tapping with my thumb was still trapped in the space between broken plastic posts and the plastic recess that the screw sits on this side. So I had to kind of get in there with my tweezers and hook that out. What we want to do is lift from the back. Don't be alarmed if you hear a clicking sound like that. It's generally speaking, that's just the sound of plastic tabs pinging a bit. I don't have the schematic for this, so there's a certain element of guesswork in understanding what cable does what, but there seems to be 3 signal cables and a power cable that connects this board, which is the mixer, and also the inputs are feeding into this mixer at the top. I'm connecting that to this large circuit board at the bottom, which is chord and playback amplifiers. The logic is over in this area. You can, if you're feeling worried, see the likes of that plug there, grab either side of it, pry it out of its socket that way without putting any pressure on the wires. I'm relatively confident at this stage that I can just pull these out by hand, so using the strength of the wires and of the little crimp terminals in the plastic plugs, and hoping that they don't break. If you don't know how to fix that, then maybe take your time and use pliers to take these out. Hey, check out my amazing light rig. Yep, I've got the cheapest possible LED light from eBay. I've put it inside a tape dispenser. Pretty cool, huh? So this power cable's back here. Once we get a bird's eye view, I'll show you where these cables were. There's a lot of wires that go between there and here. When we reinstall it, we may end up cutting these cable ties and then putting new cable ties on just to make it easier to plug this in, because some of these cable lengths are pretty short with the cable ties on. Okay, so at that point, that'll lift off separately. It wasn't very easy in that earlier footage to see which cables I was unplugging from where, what colour they were, the way they were situated on the board. So here's a bird's eye shot so we can see that more clearly. Here's the mixer on my right, on my left. Here is the record, playback, DBX, control board. When you open this, there's this bit of card here. It's a part of the electrical shielding. For the purposes of showing you where the different plugs go, I'm just going to quickly remove that. I already unscrewed this screw. There's a bit of tape here. allows me to lift that out of the way. Here we have a white plug. It has 8 pins and it corresponds to this socket here. This cable here with white, red and black cables corresponds to a 3-pin socket up here. This red plug with 4 pins goes into this socket here. This white plug with 4 pins goes into this socket here. There's this plug. It has 5 pins. That's going to be the one that's tightest. I can't really pull it over, but basically there's a socket here right in the corner of this metal shielding. Remember, you're going to be looking at it coming in from this way. That one is going over to that socket there. Then there's these wires that connect the transport control and LED to this area. The largest one has 15 pins and goes into this socket here. The next largest one has 12 pins and goes in there. The next largest has 11 pins and goes here. This one's easy to identify because it's red, and the only long red plug on the whole board goes there. And that leaves us with a 3-pin plug and a 4-pin plug. The 3-pin plug is going up here, the top left of the image. And the last one is on this little control board, which controls pitch.